Hello everyone, welcome to the weekly Pebble Penny coin video. We hold these at 12 o'clock on Mondays every week. Have done so for just coming up to 2 years. I think this is the 24th one of these we've done this year. It's a public holiday here in Adelaide today for the Queen's birthday, so if you are around Australia and you're also having a public holiday, I hope you're enjoying your day off. As I said in the Facebook post about this video, unfortunately the packaging doesn't do itself and these videos need to be done, so we get to come in to work on a public holiday, which is just great. But that's what you've got to do when you've got your own business. So the Pebble Penny is a coin shop in the northern suburbs of Adelaide, about sort of 15 minutes north of the centre of Adelaide, and Adelaide is the capital of South Australia, which, if you're not from Australia, is South Australia is in the middle, at the bottom of Australia, and Adelaide sort of in the lower right hand side of South Australia. Right, so last week in the shop was quite busy. Much busier than what we expected. Saturday was even busy buying wise. We bought a lot of stuff on Saturday. There's a lot of round 50s that came in this week for some reason, which is good because they have been flying out the door as silver has dropped, so all the people that want cheap silver have been coming out of the woodwork. We also bought an amount of mint product this week and a bunch of banknotes, all decimal banknotes, nothing too exciting. And then on Wednesday we had a gentleman come in with some militaria. We do sort of ask about anything else that people have that might be interesting. We do buy the odd bit of militaria, and this is sort of because I kind of half-heartedly collect watches. Not really. I have a few watches. I don't really collect them, but this came in. It's and it's off of an instrument panel, so it's an instrument panel from an aircraft, and it's a clock, and it's a winding clock, and it's an 8-day winding clock, and it actually works. You can wind it up with this crown just here and it will actually work, which is fantastic. And it's dated 1942, and the serial number on it, you can look it up with a bit of sort of Google magic. You can look it up and find out that that's actually an Australian made instrument panel clock for a Bristol Beaufighter or a de Havilland Mosquito, which were two Australian made fighter bombers during World War II, which is really interesting. And I think the Bristol Beaufighter might have actually, parts of it might have been made here in Adelaide, not far from where our shop is, so that's a super nice thing to have come into the shop. Also there's a few other things here that I can share with you. Obviously we do buy badges. Picked this one up the other day. It's a South Australian Railways Station Masters cap badge, which is kind of cool. And this here, which is an RAA car placard. I think this one dates from the 1960s. Yeah, so we've had a number of these come in the last few years, and it's always interesting to see them come in. They're quite interesting. You can pick them up from most of the motoring associations around Australia, and of course, being here in South Australia, the RAA, or the Royal Automobile Association, are the ones that everyone's chasing. Right, let's jump into the news, but before we do that, we'll just say hello to a few people. Hello Gary, Jim, Alex, Michael, Robert, John, Carol, Cam, Rob, Mike, Ogie, David, Glennis, Andy, Paul, Rob. Hello Rob, welcome to from Victoria, Rob. Gwen, Peter. Hello Peter in Melbourne, how you going, mate? And Sean, Ian, Carolyn, Patrick. There's a few people that we don't usually see, that are locals, that are able to join in today because they're not at work, so it's nice to see some of those faces. I do see a comment there about being careful of the radiation in the arms of the the clock there, and I will just say that certainly the illumination on old watches and clocks was done with a radioactive substance, and the people that applied that to watches and clocks did typically often get very sick, but that's because they handled so much of it. The actual amount of radioactive material on an individual clock is tiny, and you're not going to be affected by it just by holding it. I probably wouldn't eat it, but it is more of a thing of the people that applied it and were handling the material every day. Right, let's jump into the news. Right, just continuing my watching of B rolls. I've been doing this for the last month or so. B security rolls seem to have leveled out at about $75 on social media. They are getting more on eBay for some reason. They seem to consistently get about the same as an official RAM roll, which I don't really understand, but people are getting it for them, so good luck to them. The price of the RAM B rolls continues to soften. So a couple of weeks ago they were regularly getting over $200. I couldn't find any in the last week that had got over that. The highest I found was $173, and the prices were all the way down to $126. So it will be interesting to just see how they go over time. My theory is that they'll settle in the $120 to $130 range. The C-mint marks seem to be creeping up a little bit. That sort of top price is going up every week, and the bottom price is going down. If you are selling official RAM rolls and C-mint marks on eBay, don't bundle them up, because if you sell a roll and a C-mint mark, that seems to get the lowest price for both. Try and sell them individually. There's only one coin being released in July by the Mint, and it's a $5 half gram 999 gold coin. It's a follow-up to the now I'm going to get this wrong because I've got it wrong every time so far. It's a follow-up to the $2 mini gold coin that was released a couple of years ago. I'm not going to attempt to say what animal's on it because I've got it wrong every time. Anyway, the number that are being released to Mint distributors are very small, so we're not going to have many. The price is $90, and if you remember, these coins are in a lighthouse slab type coin holder, and with a nice little label, and it's a nice high quality product, and if you did get the first coin, it's well worth trying to grab a hold of the second coin. Now, those of you who watch here know that I like to pop up coins that are in the news, and there was a couple of news stories this week. The first one here was interesting, was a coin that was found in Hungary, and Hungary is sort of Eastern Europe, towards the southern parts of Europe in the east. And the coin that was found, there it is there, is a coin of Harald Hardrada. And those of you who know your history would know that Harald Hardrada was a king of Norway. So first interesting thing is that a coin from Norway was found in Hungary, and you're talking sort of 1,000 miles from Norway to Hungary. And Harald Hardrada reigned in from about 1040 to 1066 AD. So 1,000 miles 1,000 years ago was a seriously long distance. How that got down there is anyone's guess, but obviously probably a trader or something like that. Now, what is really interesting about Harald Hardrada is he was a key figure in the formation of England as we know it today. Harald Hardrada formed an alliance with Tostig, and Tostig was the brother of a gentleman called Harold Godwinson, and Harold Godwinson was the King of England. And in 1066, Tostig and Harald Hardrada invaded England, and Harold Godwinson took his army from London to Stamford Bridge, which is in the northern parts of England, and defeated the Vikings there, killed his brother Tostig, and Harald Hardrada was killed as well. And then, of course, just a few days later, William the Conqueror invaded England in the south of England, and Harold Godwinson had to take his army from Stamford Bridge down to Hastings, which is in the southern parts of England, and Harold Godwinson was defeated by the Normans there, and of course England had its last, that was the last Anglo-Saxon king of England, and the French ruled England and made it the country that it is today, changed the language and all that sort of stuff. So an interesting historic coin that was found in Hungary, and with Harold Hardrada on it, and is a very significant part of English history. Just a really interesting thing that I found in the news this week, and I do like those sorts of things. Right, so we'll just jump back to the news here. The USA is still undergoing a shortage of small change, and this means that a lot of people are having to use electronic payment methods because companies are unable to give them change in quarters or dimes or nickels or whatever. Now, the reasons for that are many, but it comes back to the COVID stuff. The US Mint reduced the number of coins that they produced hugely, and the US public stopped paying with coins as well. So lots of coins are being hoarded by the US public, and as such there's not a lot in circulation. And it's just interesting that, you know, the US has been opened from COVID for several months now, and they're still experiencing a shortage of coins. The last one here, I must admit, is me poking fun at Channel 7 because they had a big news story this week suggesting that internet sleuths had discovered secret images on new generation polymer banknotes, that when you illuminated the new generation polymer banknotes with the UV light, there were secret images. Now, of course, those images aren't secret. If you know anything about banknotes at all, you would have known that they were there. And of course, they are an anti-counterfeiting measure that Note Printing Australia incorporated into our new generation banknotes, starting with the new $5 note in 2016 and carrying right through to all of the new generation banknotes, including the $100 note. So thanks for Channel 7 for discovering that big secret for us. Do note the sarcasm in my voice there. Right. It's a koala. Thank you, Brooke. So the mini gold coin is a koala, a half-gram koala. The face value is $5. And I believe that the $2 mini coin that they released a couple of years ago was a kookaburra. Definitely wasn't a kangaroo. It was a kookaburra. So thank you for picking me up on that. Right, now last week we talked about storage. We talked about coin storage, and I promised this week that we would carry on with that topic and move across to other items such as coin slabs, banknotes, mint sets, and all of that sort of stuff. Now, I will just, before we get started, just say that a lot of the items that I'm going to show you here, we don't have them for sale. We use them here to store our own products that we sell in the shop. They're not necessarily things that we sell. So, you know, before you ask me how much of these various bits and pieces, most of them don't have a price because we don't sell them. We just use them for our own products inside the shop. So, banknotes. How do you store banknotes? Now, I think the best way of storing banknotes is in banknote pages and in albums, and then the albums laid flat, not standing up. The reason why you don't stand them up is that the banknote pages can actually sag, and that could end up with the banknotes having a slight wave in them. Now, here in the shop, we sell two different types of banknote pages. We sell excuse my crinkling here, we sell these, which are Vario pages, and Vario pages come in different pockets. So the 1C, for example, has one pocket. These are 3Cs, so you can see there that they've got 3 pockets, and the size that you need is really dependent on the size of banknote that you are looking to store. Now, these 3Cs are pretty much okay for all Australian decimal notes. They are a little bit marginal for paper $100 notes, but for the rest of them they work just fine. Similarly with Australian pre-decimal notes, this size will work fine for all of the denominations except for the older large size pounds and 5 pounds and things like that, where you'll have to go to 2Cs. So the cost of these is about $9 for a pack of 5. They're quite a heavy gauge polypropylene. The other page that we sell here is sort of a lighter gauge plastic, a BCW plastic. So again, they come in 1, 2 and 3 pockets. They're a thinner gauge material, not quite as stiff. It's still polypropylene, and these are $9 for a pack of 10, so they're about half the price of the Vario pages. For individual banknotes, if you don't want to pop them in an album, there are a couple of different solutions that we suggest in here. Sorry, I've got all my props over here next to me. The first is these puppies here. So these are BCW top loaders, and they come in two sizes. The larger size will fit pretty much every Australian banknote apart from large pounds and £5 and things like that. What they comprise of is an outer sleeve, which you can see there, which is hard PVC, and then an inner sleeve, which is polypropylene. Now, I said PVC. I don't think these are great for long-term storage of banknotes, but the fact that they're hard PVC and they don't contain softeners means that they're less likely to leak out contaminants. And you do have to use them with these polypropylene inserts. Put your banknotes in the polypropylene inserts, and that will help protect them from the outer PVC holder. Now, how would you store these? I would store these standing up in a shoebox, because you can get many of them in a shoebox. Not great for looking at them, but they don't fit well into folder pages and things like that. The other way that we store banknote pages, banknotes here in the shop, is with these types of holders here, which Catherine sources from all over the place. So what they are little polypropylene sleeves, and they open up at one end. You slide the banknote in there, and there you go. So what they do is they sort of protect the banknote from your grubby fingers. They don't necessarily give you any great mechanical protection, but they do stop it from grubby fingers. This is a good way of storing low value notes if you want to just store a big batch of low value notes. So that's banknotes. The only other type of banknote that you might want to store is a banknote in a holder like this, a PCGS holder or a PMG holder, or a PCGS currency holder. Now, obviously, those holders give you great mechanical protection for the banknote. What we tend to do with them, though, is we put them in a polypropylene bag just to stop the hard plastic holder from getting scuffed up. Okay, and it is actually a good idea. These holders, if you slide them across benches and on top of each other and things like that, they do get scuffed up, so putting them inside a little polypropylene bag works really well for us. Right, banknotes, mint sets. So we hold up all of our mint sets here in polypropylene bags. They're adhesive, so you can see there's a sticky line across here. So again, similar to the banknote, you slide the mint set in, take the adhesive strip off, fold it over, and then it's nice and sealed. Again, it stops you from grubby fingerprints, stops it from, it gives you some degree of protection from moisture and things like that, and they look really good. You can put stickers on them and things like that without damaging the mint set. You'd be surprised how many mint sets we get in here and proof sets that have got writing on them, and putting them in bags like this with stickers and things like that means that you are probably going to be okay. PNCs. We use similar polypropylene bags, self-adhesive polypropylene bags. Again, you can see let me just turn the reflection around here. No, you can't see it. There's a adhesive down there. Now, PNCs almost always come from the post office in PVC sleeves. We always take them out of the PVC sleeves and throw those away, and then put them in these polypropylene bags, and I think this is a good way of storing PNCs long term. Now, slabs. I didn't bring a slab. Those of you who don't know what a slab is, it's a coin that's graded by a third-party grading company. It's a rectangular. Oh, here's one here. It's a good thing about having a coin shop is there's coins everywhere. So this is a PCGS slab, and they are hard plastic containers. I don't know what type of plastic they are. They're not airtight, but what they do is give you good mechanical protection for the coin. You can drop this and whatever, and you're not going to damage the coin. But the plastic themselves is not that tough. It scratches and gets marked up fairly easily. You want, after you've spent sort of $50 or $100 or something like that putting a coin in a slab, you want the slab to remain pristine. So again, we put them in little polypropylene bags like this that seal up at the top. So you can do that with slabs and then put the slabs in PCGS slab boxes, and I've failed to bring in one of those. It's not a great solution for sort of easy display of your coins, but it will protect them, you know, if you're going to put them in a safe or something like that. The other option is to put slabs in what's called an end cap page, and thank you to Peter for suggesting this to me last week. I don't have any PCGS end cap pages, but what I do have is I have some capsule end cap pages. So these are an archival safe plastic. It's blow molded, and you can see with these that you can pop a capsule into the pockets here of each one and then put it into a binder. It's a great way of displaying capsules. It's also a great way of displaying graded coins like this one here, because you can pop them in a folder and flip through the pages and look at things really easily. And it means that, because capsules and slabs, the real challenge with them is displaying them nicely, and end cap pages are a great way of doing that. The only challenge with end cap pages are that you can only fit a few pages in a folder, and for slabs at least, and I'll let Peter correct me here, I think they only hold 6 per page, and you might only get 4 pages in a 3-ring binder. So you know, you might only be able to display between 20 and 25 slabs in a folder, which sounds like a lot, but there's 9 slabs per end cap page. Thank you, Peter. So if you can fit 4 pages in a folder, you'll get 36 slabs in an end cap page. So that's not a bad number of coins. It's about 2 slab boxes worth. So not a bad way of displaying things. Right, just before we jump into anything else, we'll have a look at some questions here. Right, Brooke says, is polyethylene okay? Yes, polyethylene is fine, especially food safe polyethylene. If I can just find my bags here. Right, we use a bunch of these. They are food safe Ziploc plastic bags. They're polyethylene. They're made by Glad and Armada and various things like that. So the key here is to look for a food safe plastic bag, and you know, you can buy those at the supermarket. And we see a lot of people storing their mint sets, box mint product, carded mint product and things like that in these bags. And as far as we're concerned, it's a safe way of storing them long term. It gives you some protection against moisture and, you know, rough handling and things like that. I mean, the challenge with it is, of course, is that it's hard to display it once it's all in a bag, but it's not a bad way of putting things away. So you could put a proof set in one of these bags with the right size bag. You can put carded dollar coins, carded $2 coins. You can put multiple items in these bags. There's all sorts of sizes available. If you're looking for something to pop your coins into, then you can't go wrong with food safe polyethylene bags like that. Jay is asking how much the PNC folders are. I don't know what PNC folders you're talking about, Jay. Sorry. Do you sell the slips by themselves? Item I purchased. If you're talking about the banknote slips and things like that, no, we don't. As I said at the beginning of the video, we hardly sell any of this stuff. We just buy it in and package up materials in the shop for it. We do sell the Ultra Pro banknote top loaders, but they've been out of stock for over a year, so we don't have any at the moment. We don't sell the individual banknote slips or PNC slips or mint set slips and things like that. We do sell the banknote pages. I guess if you are here in Adelaide, you're quite welcome to drop in and we can tell you what size bags we use, and then you're quite welcome to try and source those yourself. No worries, Ants. That's okay if you missed the start. So yeah, very difficult for us to keep all of this stuff in stock, so we have enough trouble keeping it available for ourselves. Right. I think that's it. I think we're done. Again, thank you to Peter for suggesting the end cap pages. I think they're quite a good solution. This is, as you can see here, even though this is a Lighthouse Optima album, I think. It's their top end Optima album, like a leatherette look with a slip cover. It's an odd size. I don't think it's A4. Oh no, it's a regular 4-ring binder. But you can see they've only got three end cap pages in there, and you can possibly get another couple in there before it bulges out too much. So I like end cap pages. I think they're a good product. They just take up a lot of room. Right, that's it for today. Thank you everyone for joining in. If you are on holidays today, please do enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, if you're looking for me to address any particular questions and things like that, please send us a message or give us a call. Carolyn, how do you store RAM bags from pop-up shops? We put them in these little self-adhesive bags, Carolyn, so they're a similar bag to what we've got this mint set in, except we've picked a size that's specific for those bags. And again, they've got a little sticky thing here so you can seal the bag. Just before I go, I will just touch on this topic because we did have someone contact us during the week about those RAM bags, because he's got RAM bags and the coins have toned in them. Now, just because they're RAM bags doesn't mean that the coins inside the bags are perfect, and it doesn't mean that they're not contaminated. We have had coins, we've seen coins in those bags that have fingerprints on them, and this gentleman's coins that had toned in the bags may well have been contaminated with some sort of oil or something like that, and they have toned inside the bags. The other challenge is that you don't know necessarily how stable the plastic is that the bags are made from. So if you've been around for a little while, you'll know that a lot of the security bags and mint bags from 2012, 13, 14 and 15 do actually change colour over time. And why that is unclear. Back in my engineering days, you could certainly pick UV stabilized plastics that wouldn't change color over time, and I guess there's no guarantee that the plastic the mint was using back then was UV stabilized, or whatever it is that's changing the color. So RAM bags, put them into those little polypropylene bags and seal them up. I've seen people shrink wrap them. I'm not really 100% sold on that, but I guess it's a way of doing it. Again, if you are here in the shop, do ask us what bags we use, and we'll show you what size it is, and you can try and source them yourself. If you do buy bags from us, they'll always come in those bags as well. So thank you for the question there. Right, thank you everyone, much appreciated. Thank you for the feedback and the questions. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy collecting, and we'll be back next week. Bye for now.